session as part of the IBM SkillsBuild in collaboration. This is our box, Click Code Create Beginner's Guide to Front-End Web Development. Today, in our sessions, we have Mr. Amit Pandey. Mr. Amit Pandey is a seasoned digital transformation leader with over 2 decades of experience designing and delivering end-to-end lead to loyalty journeys for global B2C and B2B enterprises. With deep expertise across digital marketing, commerce, sales, service, and loyalty, he is currently engaged as the Global Innovation Center Practice Lead in Customer Experience at IBM. I hope this session will be illuminating for all. And without further ado, I invite Mr. Amit Pandey to take the stage.
Hey Milan, thanks for the introduction. Hi everyone, good evening. So I'm Amit Pandey. I think Milan has just given an introduction, right? I carry over 20 years of experience in industry, mostly dealing with customers, and when customer user experience becomes the most important part. So I have been involved in projects related to marketing, commerce, sales, service, right? Everything customers, and as you know, right? I mean, some of these are functions, right, to acquire customer, and cost of acquiring customer is too high, right? Unless and until you have the right experience, you will not be able to acquire new customers, you will not be able to retain new customers, right? So yeah, I have been told that you all have started on some front-end web development training and are proceeding towards a project. So I am looking at the chat. If you have any questions, right, let's start with the question, and or you can alternatively raise your hands. So some hygiene related questions, right, around submissions, project topics and stuff, right? I think you can reach out to Milan separately on those, because I will not have answers to those questions. But yeah, I mean, if you like to understand around the whole process of customer experience, front-end development, right, and what will be the right project for you, right? I can I see a questions on complete roadmap to make a project, right? Probably I will start with that. Okay. Questions around submissions, Milan will take separately. I'm not the right person to answer the question, right? So what are the different stages of the project? So let's start with the idea, right? In any of the front office development, right? Front user interface development, you need to understand the pain point, right? What are you trying to achieve, right? So any application that you choose, right, to build, right, any project that you choose to build, make sure that you are solving some real world problem, right? So let's take an example, right? I'm just looking at the chat, I'm getting distracted. So let's take an example, right? That you are you go onto some online platform, right, to shop. Look at some of those problems that exist today, and you can solve, and probably you can put start working, take that as a project, right? So from my example, from my experience perspective, right, government in India is investing lot of money on citizen engagement platform. So that is a need of today. So you can think about building in a citizen engagement charter, right? A central platform that can take requests from citizens of, say, particular state, particular India. You can build certain screens and then connect it to backend where some of these requests are recorded, right? Try to make it as intuitive as possible, right? So say look at the journey, right? I mean, say you saw a pothole on road, right? And now you want to submit a complaint on an online platform. So what you will do is you will build an interface, to capture those images, right, and submit those complaint, right? So an application can be as simple as, right, citizen logs into the platform, right, then upload the images and submit a complaint, right? So will is that a right is that the right user experience, right? You will have to start looking at, requirements end to end. How will government come to know, right, from what location are you entering, right? So probably user location needs to be captured, user information needs to be captured. It can be a logged in user, unlogged in user, right? And then once you are submitting something, a file, um, so you in a day-to-day life, right? I mean, be it a passport application form or a visa application form, to any form that you submit on a website, right? I mean, at times you would have noticed, right? While you are uploading an image, you will get tons of errors and you don't get any help, right? And so like image size is more than 10 MB, 2 MB. I'm just taking a random example. So what happens is, if you're not able to upload and articulate your problem, right, it's giving a bad user experience to the end user, right? And a lot of time, right? I mean, working on a lot of these, not just government applications, right? Outside of government applications also, right? I mean, we struggle a lot in submitting form because of some obvious errors, and we don't get any help then and there. So think about those, right? Make sure that each and every information, each and every experience that you're giving to your end user is useful, and user is getting the right help at the right time, right? So one good way is, right, when you have developed something, right, is to test it out, right? I mean, you all might be working from school, colleges, where you will have a lot of colleagues, batchmates, right? So make sure that, right, I mean, if a team is developing some application, right, you either you have some roles within the team, but get user tested, right, that tested through real users. And just okay, so to get it tested with the real user, take that feedback and make sure that that feedback is incorporated back into the system, and not left like that, right? The other thing that you should definitely think about is rerouting those requests. A government, I'm just taking an example of the same government portal. Once you have uploaded a request, right, it needs to be routed to a particular department, right? So this is where automation, right, process engine, or something, with the help of AI, right? I mean, what you can do is you can analyze image, right? And based on analysis of image, right, that it is a pothole, right? And it needs to be assigned to civil engineering department of, right, PW department of whatever, right? I mean, it can automatically be routed. Think of these real world scenarios and start working on those, right? So that is one example, right? And there are lot of others, right? There are a lot of social applications you all are working in, and you will be very soon, right? You will start applying for jobs, right? So there are a lot of resume CV builders, right, available in market, right? Developing a utility that helps students, right? That can help students with what courses to complete, to what should they write in the resumes. A simple utility, and wherein, right, you can just upload your resume scanner can go and look at the each and every section of resume and give the feedback, right, and probably do a match with the open job description and say, right, I mean, this resume is matching or not, right? This can be a very practical example and can be used by students all across India, right? So think about these examples. So government application, student resume scanner, right? then look at petrol pumps, right? So a typical petrol pump, right? I mean, if you look at from innovation angle, a typical petrol pump, right, has lot of cars entering and leaving, right? So we are working with a client wherein what they are doing is they are taking the images of tires, right? And they have built a model wherein they are comparing the images that they are capturing at petrol pump with the comparing it with the model to analyze the health of the tire, right? I mean, what is the strength remaining? Will the tire get flat, or when will tire burst, right? So a lot of these data is being captured at petrol pumps. I mean, in a sample example, right? And you can think about, right? This is a real pain in industry. So lot of this data is being captured at petrol pump, analyzed, and is being sold to insurance companies and tire repair companies, right? So think about, right? I mean, a whole process, and how can you build, right? Some of these applications, right? If you build successfully, you will be able to sell them directly in market as well. So that is the kind of application that I'm talking about. And just don't think, right? I mean that even if you build a small utility, right, capturing those images, comparing it with the model in the backend, right? And if even if that utility, it can be used in multiple other contexts as well, right? Not just in this, right? So and right, I mean, you don't have to start building, right, a full-fledged real world application. What you can do is form groups, right? Take 2 3 projects, break a end-to-end use case into multiple projects, right? So that's there. Yeah. Milan or anyone, right? I mean, see, I'm seeing a lot of chats, right? If you can pull up some important questions and ask, and or unmute some of people, so that they can start asking one by one, that will be very helpful. I'm just looking at the questions.
Hi, Amit. So one student is asking how many steps in an interview we have, like just a coding test, or there are more tests?
So in a typical scenario, right? I mean, let's take an example of IBM. So when they are hiring freshers, they usually take an aptitude test followed by uh, a couple of round of interviews, and then one manager round of interview, right? But in industry in general, right, depending on, right, say you are applying for Google, Facebook, or things like that, right? I mean, you might have different level of interview, right, starting from data structures and algorithms to system design, and then some behavioral interviews, right? And if you are applying for, say, big consulting firms like IBM Consulting, Accenture, Deloitte, right? So if you go and apply to some of these big organizations, what they typically do is they look at your overall aptitude first, and then one solid understanding in one of the programming language. Since you are all learning front-end development, I think JavaScript will be of command. Looking at the industry trends today, right? Something on the lines of React or Angular, basically mean and MERN stack. In mean uh, and MERN, right? Mean, the A stands for Angular, and MERN, R stands for React. So Angular and React are the two JavaScript frameworks are widely being used in industry. make sure that, right, I mean, you get some amount of knowledge, right? I mean, if you get command in one of these frameworks, cracking any interview will be a piece of cake, especially in front-end development or in general, right? I mean, if you have React or Angular in your resume, your resume selection rate will increase. You don't have to depend on any campus interviews. You can start away, directly applying for jobs in open market. Did I answer that question? I am in final year, companies are coming, but I have not built any certification. I'm worried about, I have not mastered any particular language. So if you want to, right, I mean, irrespective of you are doing front-end development or not, if your want a job in IT, a base language, right? Be it JavaScript, be it Java, be it .NET, right? So one of the language is must, and you cannot think of a life in IT industry without a basic programming language. And it's not a rocket science, right? I mean, you just lock yourself in a room, start with any, right? I mean, to learn Java, there are some courses given by IBM. If you want, I can send links after this call. There are some good books available in market. For React, there are tons of YouTube tutorial available, right? YouTube, Udemy, right? You start with basic and don't just focus on learning tutorials. Start building applications, right? Try build a screen, connect it with some backend, try submitting, uh, try analyzing, bring in some AI models, right? So that's what you can do. How is AI interview? How to crack Infosys? What is SP role? I don't know. What I can talk about is in any AI related interview, right? So use cases are more important. How do you connect real world models to your problem, right? Like I said, like I took an example of the tire image, right? Tire image, and then you need to have a model corresponding to, right, wherein there are tons of images where you take images and describe the length of life that for that particular tire is remaining. What you're doing is you're taking a lot of information, feeding onto a model, and then you are utilizing that model to arrive at the life of tire that you are capturing in today's world. Similarly, right, I mean, lot of bank applications, lot of applications between companies, right? So when contract is being formed, we take a lot of documents like GST documents, their cancelled checks, right, their registration documents. So today, in today's world, right, I mean, if people are not relying on AI, there is a lot of back and forth happens between some of these companies. So how can we solve this problem using AI is, right, taking some of these information, right, and making our model understand, right, in images how to read some of these characters, right? So in this process, right, what you will have to do is you will have to take lot of data and train your models accordingly, that any image that is fed to the model, and model is able to extract information within that image and in any format, right? Some of these images will be straightforward, right, attached as a PDF or something. Some of these images will have characters very hazy, right, in multiple different formats. A good model is which is trained to a level that any kind of a distorted image is provided, it is able to extract information and give that. So that is the good way of tackling any AI, right? Because you will understand what is an large language model, how are you training data sets, right? So apart from technical, just try and understand, right, how will you apply that LLM, right, that knowledge, right, or say connecting to those model, right? I mean, sometimes you might be using Java to connect to those models, right, or you might be using Python to connect to those models. So remember, learning a language is key, right? what is more important, is it DSA or project and resume? See, it all depends on, right, whether what kind of role, right? If you are very applying to a very engineering centric company like Facebook or Google, right? So DSA holds a lot of importance, right? But 90% of jobs in market, right? What are for people like us, right? Wherein we are from freshers, we are looking only for basics. What we need is that people would have spent sufficient amount of time learning one programming language, developing something reasonable enough, and are able to articulate, right, what have they done in projects. So trust me, 90% of candidates are rejected by me just because they are not able to explain even a single, right, as simple as, right, what is null pointer exception, right? People are not able to explain. So make sure that whatever you are presenting, you are in depth. You don't have to go wider. You just need to make sure that whatever programming language, whatever project, whatever lines of code, whatever errors that you are saying, you are able to articulate each and everything, and you are to the depth of it, right? So, and if it is just about job can be, secured with basics. But if you are targeting for high end engineering firms like IBM Software Labs, Facebook, Google, Apple, Microsoft, right? So in lot of those positions, right, DSA and system design will play a very, very important role. And in addition to that, you will need to have a one programming language for sure. What is a good language for DSA? C, C++, or Java? See, language doesn't matter. Even if you are able to write a pseudo code, right, that will be important. But if you look at industry today, JavaScript is number one, Java is probably at number two, and C++ is at number three, right? But C++, there are a lot of high paying jobs, but those jobs are, number of those jobs are very small today. Skilled web Java and web developer, right? See, so try and understand between how industry is shaping today. With the advent of these AI models, the traditional programming roles are going to go away. So what you should probably look at is utilizing a lot of these AI tools that are available, starting with ChatGPT, right? You should start looking at some of these AI tools, how to, write code efficiently. You need to understand that in the world of tomorrow, there might not be any programmers needed. Some of these roles, right, that back end, front end, web developments are going to converge into one role. So a person will be responsible for talking to client, capturing requirements, using AI as a tool to develop some of these. See, when I say AI, it's not like that you don't need to have knowledge. You need to have knowledge, because you need to know what to gather from AI, assemble it, and then probably same person will be responsible for testing that application. Full stack developer is the key to success, right? What type of project, right? So see, AI enabled full stack developer. I think I gave a lot of examples around the kind of projects that you should focus on. If you would have heard the tire and petrol pump example, you can leverage your full stack skills. Basically, so what does a full stack developer does? Full stack developers work on the screen that is present in the front, and then is able to write that logic to connect to the backend to fetch that information. So a developer who is doing end-to-end is a full stack developer, be it AI, non-AI. A full stack developer has nothing to do with AI. What AI can do is help you write that code faster, right? So a lot of models are available in market that are well trained, that are giving information, right, of the versions that are present today, right? There are a lot of versions that are going to come for Java, or right, JavaScript, or there will be new libraries coming in. AI will not know that, right? So once it comes in market, the models are trained, right? So the models will start dealing in future, for future also. That is why, right, you need to know what is the version today. You need to have in-depth knowledge of the programming level, but how to do your job faster, AI will be an enabler to that. So there is a question on what about Python? See, if you want to work in a data centric role, when I say data, that be data scientist, data analyzer, or say a lot of connecting to some of these models, Python is in demand these days for those kind of role. So just decide, right, what do you want to do, right? What I would do is look at all the open roles in naukri.com or linkedin.com, right? and analyze, right? Put a Python keyword on the job openings and see that list, right? What are the number of positions coming in? Probably if I would have been you, I would take that as a deciding factor, right? My first priority is to secure a job, right? So I will go back and look at LinkedIn today. If I go at LinkedIn and put JavaScript or React, right, I will get tons of jobs. Compared to if I say list Python, there will be high paying jobs in Python, but they will be limited, right? But one thing that you need to understand is you cannot start working on data intensive job or AI intensive job from day one, right? You need to know industry, you need to know pain points. So I will request you to look at the volume, right? Focus on one of these programming language, be it Java or JavaScript, and build on top of it when you get to the industry, right? I think your first and foremost priority should be getting in industry. Projects are compulsory for internship or placements. Projects, see, in any company that you apply to, projects and internships are must-haves, right? I mean, it's very difficult to get to a position, even if say you get to an interview, and if you don't have right internships or right projects in your project in your resume, your resume might not even go through, right? If there can be an exception in the sense that you have awesome knowledge in some of these programming languages and are able to articulate that very well in, right? But still, why I would not change, take a chance of not doing a project. And project can be done from anywhere, right? As I said, take any real world example, or it can be as simple as copying Facebook or copying Twitter, right? I mean, projects don't have to be unique, right? If you're not able to identify any new pain, right? I mean, just try and copy what exists. Copy Zepto, copy Swiggy, right? I mean, just try and replicate some of those, right? Just try and analyze Zepto as an application and try and build it, right? You don't have to look for new ideas to do a project. What are some of the common mistakes freshers make while applying or working in Java web roles? See, biggest mistake that you will make is when you are writing your resumes, make sure that you are talking about your project first, right? Grades later. Talk about projects, talk about roles and responsibilities, talk about, look at the job description itself. Make sure that you are curating your resumes to the particular job description, not just throwing any random resume to JDs, right? And when you are writing a project, give a project description, then talk about your role, that I was the person responsible for writing front end code. I did programming in JavaScript. I did programming in React. I made these classes. I wrote web services to connect to the backend. I was responsible for writing queries to databases. I wrote those connectors to connect to these databases. I was responsible for reading the Excel files. Make sure that you are articulating, right? I mean, unless and until you are able to articulate those roles, that if you're not, your inability to articulate those roles will show your interviewer that you have not done real projects and you're just copying it from somewhere. So make sure that, right? I mean, and there are a lot of AI tools available today, right? That can help you guide for a corresponding Java job description. What are the some of the must-haves in the resume? So please make sure that you are using these AI tools efficiently today. I want to become an AI engineer. So what should the stuff like tools, etc. So to become an AI engineer, you need to understand the intricacies of building an LLM, right? So there are two kinds of engineers, right? So one engineer is responsible for building those models, and there other kind of engineers are like us, right? They are who look at different kind of models and pick the best model and start developing those use cases for our customers, right? So like today I have a customer wherein they are into B2B contracting, and they want to, so today their contractual process take 3 to 4 months, and they have approached us to how to use AI to shrink this contracting life cycle. So what we are doing is, in this whole product onboarding and contracting life cycle, we have identified a tens of agents. Now, to build those agents, we are looking at the best of the best available models in the market, and we will use those models to implement some of these use cases for our clients. So there are two kinds of AI engineer. One who are responsible for building those models. For that, skill set is very different. You need to understand LLM, you need to understand how model works, you need to understand data, right? Because model means training them on data. So data science is a core element of building some of those AI tools. Whereas to become an application engineer on top of those models, you need to understand Python, one of the programming language. You need to understand how to invoke those models, and then you should have an overall arcing knowledge of what those models, how do those model functions, right? So there are two different skill sets. Please make sure that you decide on what you want to do before going there. Sir, can you tell me, required for a DevOps engineer, what is the scope of DevOps jobs available? So I'll take a very real example, right? I mean, any application that you build today, right? Say I have a team of 10 people working on a project. There will be one DevOps person responsible for, on a size of 10, probably a 0.5 DevOps, right? A person who will be responsible for writing that Jenkins build, right? And a Jenkins build. So there are a lot of DevOps tool available, right? And this person is responsible for whole build, and that build needs to be pushed into different environments. So all of this infrastructure and push of code, and when you do in a very structured manner, there are a lot of dependencies and stuff are going to come into picture. So DevOps is definitely an yes, right? But again, you need to understand scripting much better. So scripting is your first step to becoming a DevOps engineer. So make sure that, be it Ant script, be it Maven script, you understand that well, and then, right, you are learning some of these advanced tools that are available in market today to become a DevOps engineer. Like I said, right, I mean, 0.5 out of 10, right? That's an approximation, right? So if there are 10 developers in the team, there will be a 0.5 of a DevOps person. So just relate to it, right? I mean, we do not have tons of DevOps, right? There are DevOps people, but not in comparison to. So this is definitely a niche area. Okay. I don't know what is NPTEL certification. So companies give preferences to experience and articulation of your projects. No matter, certifications don't hold any. I mean, I'm just taking an example. If you have tons of certifications but you are not able to articulate your experience, that doesn't matter, right? So make sure that certification can help you get your resume screen, but to clear an interview, you need to have that real knowledge. So knowledge always supersedes any certification. I don't understand this why AI will remove web developers. See, lot of roles, right? Be it business analyst to backend developer to front-end developer to testing, right? Lot of these roles are going to converge. AI will not be able to remove developer, right? Because ultimately our high-end developer is required to generate those prompts, fetching that right code from and analyzing it and putting it right. AI might not be able to do that end to end. And plus, right, some of these codes, right, versions, upgrades happen very frequently. And there will be engineers required to train those models on the latest of what is happening, right? So it's not that AI will be able to wipe out all the jobs. If someone is saying that, he's making fool of you. My DSA is poor. Is it possible to get a job without DSA for front-end developer? Yes, you can definitely get a job without DSA. But again, DSA is a matter of practice anywhere you go, right? You will have to deal with logics, and you should start practicing. There's nothing called DSA is poor, right? The more the time you spent on DSA, so more you will get and you don't have to do all of the DSA in day one, right? So depending on if you're not behind very engineering intrinsic, we want to be an application developer, you will have tons of opportunities without even a good DSA. What is the role of internship? Internships give you real-time feel of working environment. So it is preferred. You get to work on the real world projects. So definitely internships help in campus placements because you will be able to articulate your experience in a better way. A chat system which answers your question website help like IBM have. What do you want? So people actually often say include AI in your web development in your work, or you will be easily replaced. What does this actually mean? Say that this means a person using AI will be able to develop faster, right? Everybody is running behind performance, right? If you are not able to deliver your deliverables faster, you will be eliminated. So what is the harm of not using AI, right? So if something is available on the fly, please make use of it. And trust me, there is no life without AI going forward. Mistakes, freshers, I've the CGPA matter. CGPA matters because we get tons of resumes, right? And it is used as a filtration criteria by many of the organizations, right? But if you have a bad CGPA, will you not get a job? You will have to put effort, right? You will have to run as a might have to run as freelancers. You might have to enrich your resume in multiple different ways, right? And so if you don't have good CGPA, there are other ways, right? I mean, where you can score elite code and stuff, and make your resume rich in alternate. So if CGPA is a matter of concern, let me tell you, I had a lot of backs when I was doing engineering. Okay, so it was 20 years back, and my CGPA was around after third semester, it was somewhere around 61%, right? And at that time, my first company was TCS, right? And when TCS came to campus, they had a cutoff of, I'm talking about 2005, right? I mean, they had a cutoff of 70%. I was not even eligible for it. In fact, none of my computer science batchmates were eligible for it. right? And since a lot of were not able, TCS lowered their cutoff to 60%, and that is how I was able to get to write a TCS written exam, right? And that was the only opportunity for me, because my grades were so low that I realized that I might not get opportunities in companies further. So I used some of these techniques, and talking about some of these real examples, and I have been experimenting whole my life. So grades matter, right? I'm not saying that grades don't matter, but if you think your time has already passed grade and you don't have good grades, please make sure that you find alternate ways to make your resumes rich. In our introduction, what are the important points to tell, like our so there's something called as guided interview, right? So next question depends on some of the keywords that you insert in introduction. Make sure that whenever someone is asking you, can you introduce yourself, you are able to speak at length, right, about your experiences, and make sure that you are calling out some of those unique points, right? That I have written a React code, right? I have done performance, web performance optimization. And when you are leaving those points, right, so interviewer might not be listening to your entire stories, but when you pull, right, that I have done performance optimization, or I have written a connected to connected to a database, or I have trained my own LLM. So when you leave some of these pointers, the next question is going to come on some of these pointers, and you can keep your interview guided in a way that you keep leaving out these pointers, and make sure that you have prepared very well on these pointers, so in all depth, so that interview keeps keeps drilling inside it, and you are able to answer those. Probably I can take a separate session on interview session itself. I think chats are going up and down. So for an average 7 CPA, what should be the approach to get placed on campus? Should we work on mastering DSA or skills, or more on academics? Asking, we have money of please answer this. So like I said, right, so if you have an average CGPA, please make sure that you are so there are some companies which are very strict on CGPA. You might not get shortlisted there, but there are others that look at resumes. So there are a lot of engineering centric companies, or there are a lot of startups that look at the real work that you have done rather than CGPA. So make sure that you are spending time in working some of those projects, spending time on DSA's logics. Have a differentiating factor in the resume, right? That will help your resume getting shortlisted. Use referrals. Make sure that you are all on LinkedIn. Start developing connections there. Start there will be, you will have a lot of alumni. Start asking help from your alumni for referrals. A lot of these things work. And let me tell you some statistics around in industry. Till today, right, in India, I'm just talking about, I lead the customer and CX practice for IBM, right? And we let go of 30% of positions because we are not able to find talented people, right? So trust me, there is a lot of skill gap in that exists today, and industries, right? I'm just talking about, right, my practice is around 4,000 people globally, with 1,000 people in India, and with that 1,000 people capacity, right, I am not able to fill 30%, right? So when I say 30%, right, 300, I'm talking about 300 odd open positions that just go waste, right, every year. And similarly, think about IBM, right? 50,000 people, if I'm not wrong, right? 50,000, 60,000 people, right? Only IBM Consulting has in India, right? 30%, if others are also not finding those skills, right? And I'm sure, right, there are other niche skills, nicher than the area that I work with. They will be losing even more, right? They will be letting go of those positions, right? Because we don't find the skills in market. So skills are more important, and trust me, there is no dearth of jobs in market today. If you have the right skill, you will find jobs in the market. Which field is better, web development or data science? I think, right, I mean, it depends on your interest, first of all. Then I would probably go behind, right, I mean, looking at the statistics. Go and look at the open positions. If you will certainly find more opportunities in web development today. I can be biased because my area is customer experience. I am completely into web development. Data science is not my expertise. Can BCA student track FANG? Yes, anyone can crack FANG Mang, right? It's a matter of practice. They have a very set interview patterns. There are tons of resources available online. Please make sure that you make use of it. Take right guidance. There are a lot of mentors available in right. I mean, I would go on LinkedIn, right, and then start hunting for right mentors to mentor if I'm not able to find one. How to contact you, right? I mean, I am available on all the social media channels. It's very easy to find me, Amit Pandey, IBM. On LinkedIn, you will be able to find me. I'm now happy to answer your questions that come through LinkedIn. How difficult is to get software side, being an electronics communication or mechanical civil, right? Branch doesn't matter. It is the matter of practice. There are a lot of top performing IT engineers today that exist in market. They come from civil, mechanical, biotechnology, right? And a lot of, right, I mean, who are not even graduates, right? So degree doesn't matter to become a successful IT engineer. Uh, what is a good CGPA? I mean, I don't have any answer to that. What do you personally notice first when hiring someone with 0 to 2 years of experience? I look into basics, right? I will go into basics. I look into projects. I I look at their communication skill. How well are they able to articulate their problems or all the solutions that they have developed? If they are able to talk about roles, my class, see, marks, right, as I said, right, I mean, are not a deciding factor. It is a criteria used for filtration in a lot of companies, right? And if that is being done, right, you cannot help it. Better focus on those companies who are not focusing on those criterias. Make a beautiful profile for yourself in LinkedIn. Make a beautiful resume. Put lot of projects. Start developing. Yeah, do some hands-on, and if you are able to articulate your project end to end, trust me, you will find a job. How do I join DRDO? DRDO is not my expertise. I will not be able to answer that. What are the challenges faced by freshers on getting their first IT industry? Say discipline is the biggest factor that I see. If people are disciplined enough, taking guidance from seniors and learning, right? And these days I feel, right, I mean, people are not committed on time, right? So if you have zeal to learn and zeal to and IT engineers learn for their life, right? I mean, there is no, if you stop learning, you are out of market, right? So make sure that you have a learning habit. And what was your approach to aptitude? See, aptitude is a matter of practice, right? The more you practice, you will be able to get aptitude. How can a fresher get a job in IBM as a Java developer? What will what will be the approach and any opportunity. See, I'll take a practical example, right? We even though we hire freshers from right, I mean campuses, at times we get lot of requirements ad hoc, right, wherein we are looking for experience, and sometimes those skills cannot be met by a very experienced person. We find lot of freshers who have done good amount of work in Java, JavaScript, MERN, developed some of the application, they have run their own organizations, right? While they were in college, we hire some of those freshers based on their resumes and the interviews that they do. Sir, is doing MTech worth it? Is doing I'm doing MTech and MBA is a personal choice, right? I mean, because MTech and MBA gives you a different career path, right? So just look at the career path that you get after MBA or an MTech, right? If you want to come to an IT, right, BTech is sufficient. But if you want to go to a PhD and become a research scientist, so then in those cases, MTech will be helpful. MBA is a very different ball game, right? So if you want to do marketing, sales, service, right, and so some of those roles, then MBA is recommended. Which government job we can apply after opting? I don't know about government jobs, guys. Sorry. What are the best technologies? Like I said, right? AI, ML, right? I mean, if you with machine learning, I understand that you want to develop those models. What I would say is focus on developing deep data skills, combined it with the Python. How can we get off-campus placements in the IBM, right? I mean, there are tons of IBMers. Seek their help, right? Someone will help you. What is SAP? SAP is a company that develops a lot of ERP application, and when they say ERP is enterprise resource planning, right? Be it material, be it procurement, right? So SAP is the one of the biggest ERP systems, right? It's a package solution, and yeah. So matter in placement goes get score. I don't think. I'm not sure, right? If somebody is looking for, I don't know, what is a Salesforce developers? Like SAP is a market leader in ERP. Salesforce is another company which is market leader in CRM softwares, right? And but I mean, these companies are also developing peripheral solution, but they are known for Salesforce is known for developing CRM solutions, and SAP is known for flagship ERP, and they take all the Fortune 500 companies. They will either have Salesforce, they will have Salesforce as CRM, and then SAP as an ERP. So, see this thing like that, college doesn't provide you skills, right? College provides you alumni network. College provides you your batchmates. College provides you an ecosystem, right? And if you're saying that college doesn't provide you with the skill, this is not right. Right, there are tons of information available. You have to do your own research, right? I mean, college can provide you with basics, right? College cannot provide you with all the skills needed, right? It is on you to look for skills that you want to develop and work towards it. You cannot blame college for it. College is giving you everything that you can have in the world. My friend, you need to make sure that you utilize it to the best. College is giving you an alumni network. Please make sure that you reach out to your alumni network. I'm sure someone will be out there to help you out. Explain software developer roles and what is the skill required. Say software development, right? I mean, say it starts with a business analyst, right? Somebody will be talking to customers to understand, right? It can be as simple as developing a simple application for taking orders, right? So somebody needs to talk to customers to take those requirements, jot down, write down. We call it a business analyst, right? Then business analyst talks to development team. It can be backend, front end, right? And so backend people will be responsible for writing backend code, right, which will be in Java or Node or right. So there are tons of backend languages available. Front end people will be writing, developing those screens, and then you will be writing services to connect those front end to backend. So these are some of the roles, and as I said, with AI coming into picture, a lot of these will be automated. So business analyst to backend to front end to QA will get converged. No. I think I've answered all the anything. If sir, I see everything around learning AI ML. I've just started basic development. Basic developer, are there ample opportunity? I fear about missing opportunities. See, don't get bogged down by tons of information available on the internet, right? Start with basics, connect a simple model, right? Or train a simple model, so in a week's time, if you start doing rigorously, spend 4 to 5 hours daily for 2 weeks, it is sufficient enough. You will be able to correct any interview. Don't have to get into any fear. There are tons of jobs available for freelancers. There are a lot of websites. You just Google, and you have to start building profiles. When you apply as a freelancer, you will get assignments. You complete those assignments, your rating will increase, and then you can start charging, right? So there are tons of opportunities available. And otherwise, right, I mean, you make use of LinkedIn, right? Someone will approach you. We will start posting your skills, right? You'll and see, when you make 10 connections, 20 connection, 100 connection, probably one connection is going to help you, right? So if you do 10 posts around finding a job, right, one is going to help you. So do not get bogged down by right number of follow-ups that you need to do. Follow-up is the key to success. Should we join startup or a company for more growth, right? See, be it a startup or be it an organization like IBM, right? IBM also has those corners where there is a lot of startup culture, right? So it all depends on you, your hunger, right? Be it any role, you will, if you like your job or not, right, you will be able to, if you have that hunger, you will be able to find that right person in that organization who is going to help you out. So be it a startup or be it organization, doesn't matter. So all of these challenging roles exist everywhere. .NET is developer is future or not? See, Microsoft is invested. They are developing a lot of co-pilot solutions. So compared to Java, .NET is less, but it's not like .NET doesn't have a market. .NET has a definite future. Is skilling flexibility for mastery a good call? I don't understand this question. Sir, when applying for jobs, how important is our LinkedIn profile? See, social is the way of life, right? And trust me, right? I mean, LinkedIn is the biggest job platform in the market. Even if you don't have resume, if you have a good LinkedIn profile, right? And howsoever your good resume is, right? People go and come and look at your LinkedIn profiles, right? And maybe not as a fresher, but as a lateral hire. Once you get to an experience level, LinkedIn is must have, right? Make sure that you are documenting each and every skill, each and every learning that you are doing on a day-to-day basis on LinkedIn, right? And it's a platform that is not going to go away. It's evolving on a lead to level. Lead code core scores matter, right? So if you have a good lead code score, make sure that you're calling that out. how have you seen your industry change over time? Say, when I started my career in 2005, right? And we when I used to do a Google search, right? We didn't used to get code today to today, right? I mean, if you put in Chat GPT, just to write your problems, you will, or you upload a wireframe. When I say wireframe or a UX design, within that, right? It's giving you automated code. So, I mean, so from a stage when we used to write code to code in a text file to getting an ID to getting to a level when AI is writing code, right? We have seen it all. A lot of changes, man. How to develop connections on LinkedIn? Material, good content, right? Help people in your network. You will start building and be value of no to your network, right? You'll start building good connections. What is the best skill to run after BCA to get job? Degree doesn't matter. We've talked about skills at length, right? Be it BCA, BBA, right? You need to focus on your programming skills to get jobs in IT industry. And I'm assuming that people are here for IT jobs only. What is the approximate timeline we can be job ready? MERN full stack. 1 month, 2 hours a day should be good enough for MERN. Start with the React, then go to Node, then Mongo, then Express. Okay. Full stack .NET in IBM. So, I, as I said, so if you full stack, and then if you want to specifically looking for full stack .NET, make sure that you are looking at working on the right projects within that skill set. Call out those projects clearly in your resumes with the right roles and responsibilities, impact, probably get some references. I start applying, right? There are a lot of .NET full stack jobs in market. You will land in a good job. Which is good, MERN or MEAN, right? I mean, both of these stacks are well in use. I would probably go with MERN because React has a very good demand catching up in industry. Yeah. If you have to choose, right? Both of them are equally good, by the way. I hope I'm looking at the chat now. I hope I was able to help answer a lot of your questions. Any more questions, just feel free to. What is the suitable DSA language for MERN stack developer? Right. I mean, you can write code in React or Node. Doesn't matter. You can even write a pseudo code. I don't understand this question. Do want to deploy the full stack simple use case projects better than multiple use case projects? College fresher. See, if say simplicity is good, right? If you are able to able to explain functions, if you are able to give justification, and even if the use case is simple, right? Those connections, those services have been written properly, right? Per page has been optimized, right? So it matters, right? See, quality is important than quantity. Make sure that, right? I mean, you're not building but if you are able to build a heavy use case with quality, then go for it. Which front-end technology we learn when we were working with the Spring Boot? See, Spring or Spring Boot, right? I mean, is mostly used with Java as a backend, and you can pick either React or Angular as a JavaScript framework, combine it with the HTML, CSS, it should be a good option, right? I mean, it all depends on your personal choice. What is your opinion on IoT? See, you are all starting your career as a fresher, right? IoT is a bigger field. When we talk about IoT is a suite of connected devices, right? Programmed, right? Again, programming language is the key, right? So IoT use cases are basically connection of, say, antennas, routers, sensors, beacons that are there, and then you need to understand, right? I mean, are you deploying IoT in a shop, right? Are you deploying IoT in a healthcare or industry, right? So to deploy that IoT again, right, those connections, those services have to be written. You need to know programming language. You need to know REST web services. You need to know the functions of those IoT devices, right? So IoT is a bigger play, right? I would focus on basics and then move on to IoT. But yeah, definitely IoT has a good scope. I was selected in internship at Hackathon in a cloud computer, but my area expertise is web development. Yes, please go ahead for then do the internship, right? Don't miss out on how to get selected in Infosys. Infosys has a lot of off-campus walk-in. I think probably I'm not the right person to guide you for the written test today. But you should definitely look at, right, what do they ask in written test. You have to qualify those written tests and go on to interviews. And obviously, right, your resume and your projects are going to help you in interviews. Do hackathon help in? Yes, hackathon helps in getting jobs. If you are able to solve some of those problems, right, under pressure and with the tight deadlines, I'm sure you will land onto someone who is gonna notice you, and even if someone doesn't notice you, right? I mean, you should be able to articulate that experience in your resume, your LinkedIn profile, and start applying for a job. You will definitely good. I don't understand this IBM question. So Fiber Studios go to develop and deploy application. See, IDs and these things don't matter, right? So there are tons of available tools and technologies in industry. Pick any of them. Go for reviews, right? How to do research if the project we choose demands we choose it is in demand or not, right? So look at the real world scenarios, take feedback from your seniors, right? And if you no, and then there are tons of ideas then in the industry, right? So whenever you choose a project, right, I mean, just look at the problem that it is solving, right? How widespread the problem is, right? And again, right, I mean, as I said, take feedback from industry. I think we have lost the chat. Yeah. So point upload the certificate. I am not answering. No, Uzma and Milan, I am not able to see the chat, right? So if there are any more questions, I can take orally.
Yeah, Milan, go ahead.
Okay. So one student is asking, what are the most important Java concepts a fresher must master to stand out?
Sorry, Milan.
What are the most important Java concepts a fresher must master to stand out?
See, Java, right? I mean, you look at the basic programming structure, right? Be it loop or be it structure, right? You should know what are classes. You should understand OOPS as a concept, right? So that again, right? I mean, use your text file to write code initially. Don't just copy paste, right? When you are executing, look at those error messages. Check for those scenarios where those errors are occurring, right? Document your learnings, right? Whenever you are doing some of these programmings, make sure that you are documenting your learnings very well. I still have a register at my home which I use for interviews, right? I mean, I've been carrying it from last 20 years, right? It is a hard bound register. I make sure that each and every learning goes into that register. Okay, make sure that you are also capturing your learning. That is the key to success. And then, as I said, OOPS concept, polymorphism, metadata, right? All of these object-oriented programming skills, because Java is an object-oriented programming language. And then structures, right? I mean, how do you write a structure? How what does some of these keywords do, right? And make sure that you are grasping it to the length and breadth. I'm sure, right? I mean, you will have success. Yeah. Okay, I'm able to see chat now. What should be an approach to any hackathon problem? Starting off hackathons to how do you approach them as a beginner? And if you can list some hackathons in market for those who are just starting out with it. So see, don't look at hackathon as a one big problem, right? Always look at the problem and break it down into smaller parts. And whenever you are approaching hackathon, make sure that you are approaching it as a team. Divide roles. Dividing and conquering is the best way to do that. How many projects? As I said, right? I mean, quantity doesn't matter, right? Quality does. So make sure that even if you are calling out one project, you are into complete depth of it. There are questions around deadlines and all. I'm not the right person to answer those. How can we approach IBM from internship? Please help. See, IBM opens window, right? I mean, follow IBM's page on LinkedIn. They keep publishing internship opportunities. So I both IBM Consulting and IBM Software Labs, and they keep. And a good way is, right, some of these SkillsBuild and tools and technologies. A lot of these things certifications are monitored, right? So IBM keeps looking into it from backend, and they keep hunting for talent. You will not even know people. IBM might be looking at your profiles. Without computer engineers, AI engineers can work. Yeah, definitely they can work. To work in IT, you just need logical skills and a programming language. You can start building on top of it. So what are the points necessary to document during while learning? See, whenever you are starting, right, you will be capturing requirements, you will be gathering requirements, you will be creating design, and then once you have created the design, you will be translating that design into code, right? Be it backend code, front end code. So at all points, right, when you are capturing requirement, you will be facing a lot of challenges with the end customer, right? It can be as simple as that, right? When you start elaborating, take Facebook as an example, right? You start elaborating each and every functionality of Facebook. If you start with Excel sheet, right, you will figure out that to capture simple sign-in change, right? You will have to link lot of sub requirements to signing itself, right? So in each and every step, right, then when you start designing the software, you will do a lot of back and forth with the user experience, right? How will it look in mobile, how will it look at in desktop, right? How will the design look like, right? So when I said, so there is a user interface design, and then there is a technical design, right? A high level technical design, then low level technical design that you need to do. So at lot of times when you decide first approach, And when you start building on top of application, and then you realize that the approach that you decided earlier might not even work. So some of these things are learning. Make sure that you are documenting these small learnings. These learnings, when you articulate in an interview, right, or as an experience to someone, these learnings show that you have done some real work or you have copied. Yeah. I think I explained what are important questions of MERN stack interviews. See, MERN mean, right? So there are 4 languages that we are talking about, right? So React for front end, Node for back end, then Express is for middleware, and then Mongo as a database, right? So yeah, across all of these 4, plus how do you connect, right? And what kind of applications are you building? Then the questions will be around uh, some of these performance, right? Features itself, right? So these are some of the basic questions, again, right? I mean, more and more you go into depth, right? The kind of logic that you have developed, kind of functionalities that you have, kind of calls you have made, then there will be scenario based questions around right, if you have written a class in a particular way, or called a function in a particular way, there might be 10 different ways. People might question your choices. Why did you use that rather than this, right? So make sure that you are learning basics first. And if there are 2 to 3 different ways of doing things, and if chosen one, right, make sure that you are able to articulate why did you choose that one over others. There's nothing wrong and right in design, right? But have your point of view handy, and if you are able to explain your point of view, people relate to it. Valuable lessons you have learned in your career. So when I was fresher, there was a person. I started my job in Mumbai. I was traveling on site for the first time, so I got a learning. He was like my guru. He said, never say no. And that has been my mantra of life. Be it any requirement, be it any new technology or new skill set, I've never said no. And that is why probably I've broadened my skill sets like anything. Then that I think that is the biggest learning I had initial career, that I found a person, right, who gave me that, right, I mean, how to survive and, right, how to grow in industry. And I have that in back of my head. I just keep learning. To place a job in company as a fresher, learning basic like HTML, CSS, and building clone of website, that is good enough. If you are able to copy something and able to explain end to end, right, you'll definitely land onto a good job. I wasted my 2 years in college, and in final year I'm learning Python, and this is what further steps do you suggest me to get a good job? I wasted my 4 years, right, in college. So don't worry about it. It's never too late. Lot of learnings available in market, right? And you start with the programming language, start building applications. Once you start building applications, real world applications, right, make it work, right, you'll realize that there's nothing at it. You will yourself get confidence, and you will start building on top of it. And it's never too late, right? I mean, lock yourself in a room, right? You will be able to build full-fledged application overnight. I am curious to know, one viewer and engineering, what challenges did you face while preparing for internship or learning new technologies? Also, which language or skill helped you most at the beginning of your journey? I would appreciate your experience and guidance. See, when we are talking about 2005, right? When I graduated. So biggest learning hurdle was, right, I mean, we do not had the internet, the bandwidth and the speed that you see, right? We were dependent mostly on books, right? So that was good, and that was bad, and that was good also, right? I mean, we did not had lot of resources, so we were not confused, right? We had definite textbooks, right? The complete reference to Java or Kathy Sierra for Java, right? And and we did not had tons of, right, the React and Angular were not even a thing, right? I mean, JavaScript was also, in very nascent phase in 2005, right? And so we did not have a lot of options, and those were the challenges, right? Even though we wanted to work on projects, right? I mean, we had to travel, we had to go to cafes to make some of those use cases and projects work. But the learning was, right. I mean, the one thing that we had clear, we had guidance from seniors that we need to master one programming language, and that is what has helped me in the initial phase of my career, securing my job, right? I mean, even though I had not so good of grades, right, the knowledge that I had with the programming language has helped me securing a good job. So there is a huge wave of agentic genetic AI and agentic AI. There are chances that developer jobs will be automated. Do you think in future only a single person should have knowledge about full stack plus QA and product development? Yes, a lot. See, we are not clear at this point of time that how the future of jobs are going to look at, right? I mean, probably 6 months down the line I will be in a better position to tell you, right, how will the future of job look like, right? But for sure some of these roles, like I said, business analyst to backend to front end and backend will converge. There will be only full stack developers for sure, but we visualize it even further, right, that a full stack person will be capturing requirement, will be developing, and will be testing. So that is how we visualize. But yeah, again, let's wait and watch. You never know, right, when industry might come with something new. Colleges mostly fail, but companies often expect real world experience of as students. How can I bridge my mix? As I said, colleges can give you network. Colleges are giving you everything in terms of connecting you to industry, connecting you to your alumni base, right? So connecting you to your own colleagues, seniors, juniors, right? So college is giving you everything, right? And it's on you to identify that real world problem that you will take and run with it, right? So just identify those a real world problem and start working on that. Please don't go behind colleges, and colleges are this way across the world. Okay. Sanjana, so a question is around, right, which skill gap which is present. So and see, take I can talk from my customer experience, lead to loyalty angle, right? The area where I build expertise, right? We don't get a lot of people in market. If I have to say, look for a person with 2 years of experience or 3 years of experience with a particular skill, right? There are a lot of skills in market with package technologies and outside of package technologies like Golang developer, right? We do not get a lot of people with some of those skills in market. The reason why there is, right, 90% of the jobs that are existing in IT industry are mostly support or doing mundane activities that might not be even required in future, right? And when we float some of these job roles in market, all the applications that we get are from those people who are fed up with their mundane jobs and trying to apply for the jobs that require higher skills, and then we see that there are gaps, right? And if you think, I'm talking about data structure, we are talking about basics of programming language, right? To date, right? I mean, I'm not able to find one in 10% who is able to tell me the basics of Java in an interview today also. So that is the kind of skill gap that I'm talking about. Sanjana, if you look around yourself, right, and you talk to people, you will find then in your batch, there will be only a batch of 500. You will find only 5 people who will have good command on basics of programming language. The rest 495 will not have. And that's the bitter truth of the industry. Change to TypeScript after learning JavaScript is mandatory. See, there's nothing mandatory, right? There are a lot of options available, right? But if you are able to learn some of these emerging JavaScript packages, like I said, React and Angular, Next, right, Node, so you will have an edge in securing jobs, right? Nothing is mandatory for freshers. React has, there's a question on the scope of React. React has a very good scope. React.js, if you are able to, work on it, develop some real world applications and are able to articulate that examples end to end, you will be able to secure a good job and and master it. So what can you provide the best roadmap to master JavaScript? Right, start with W3 schools. Go and look into basic syntaxes. Once you have learned basic syntaxes, start put that as a package and start building bigger applications, right? And at the end, right, as I said, pick Facebook, pick Twitter, right, and develop a use case end to end. Once you develop a use case end to end, that is the that is the best way to master JavaScript. There is no other way. Hands on. You need to write your code with pen and paper and then document on a text file. Stop using IDE as a developer. Once you have developed some sort of a proficiency, then start using AI, right? Because you know what to write, right? Don't do it reverse, right? That you start using AI, because unless and until you understand basics, you will not be able to bring that depth to your knowledge.
So as we are approaching our time, shall we slowly wind down after taking a couple more questions?
I hope I was helpful and I have been able to answer some of the pressing needs that you might have had, right? And obviously team is here. If you need any other session, I'm happy to do that as well. I need to know, right, what do you want from me? And I will be able to cover that in detail. So it's between SCSS and Tailwind CSS, right? I mean, both of them are in use. So look at the performance of the application. How to host the project on a server, right? I mean, look for any application server. You can host make your own computer as also a server, and then host applications on top of it. Or you can use a cloud application, right? Something like AWS or Azure, or there are a lot of other applications. You can go and host applications there, right, on cloud, and then connect to your URL, right? I mean, basically you will have to buy a domain, and then that domain needs to be redirected to a cloud URL or your own URL from your laptop, right? I hope, Snehal, I was able to answer your question, right? I mean, if not, you can ask a follow-up question. Okay, so timeline sort, right? I mean, see, timeline, it all depends on your speed and stuff, right? To build a basic hello world kind of a front-end application, you start with your HTML DOM structure first, right? So that it will write, and then start changing colors, right? Using CSS, change font, right? and then bring in JavaScript in between for some of those prompt capturing those, doing some calculations. So that's a basic application that you can build, right? Learning HTML, CSS, and the JavaScript basics will not take more than a day. Right? When I say basic, right, developing a simple application, one page, so should not take more than a day, right? When start your day in morning and then end, right, when you should have a good command in HTML, CSS, and basic. Obviously, right, I mean, what is the best practice to do, right? I mean, it will come with practice, and more you learn, more and more you practically develop, you will start doing that, right? I mean, Parth, if but timeline 1 day for the question that you have asked. Can I know, will you give domains for project? Funny, Teja, I don't understand that question. Can you please elaborate? Domain, are you talking about industry? And plus, right, this is a project specific question, so probably Milan or someone should be able to take it. I'm not the right person for this.
Yes, Vaniteja, there is no specific domain or topic as such for the project. Wherever your interest lies, you can create the project based on that.
So there are internship so Internshala, right? There's a very popular website. There are a lot of other websites in competition, right? A lot of US based firms, right? If you go and look at their website, they publish internship opportunities from time to time basis. The key to success is, right, applying with the right resumes and follow up.
So I think we are reaching the end of a role model interaction session.
Yes, I also need to rush to airport.
Oh, sorry for keeping you so long. Thank you so much for spending these few hours with us and entertaining all our questions and engaging with the students. I'm sure they all had a very insightful session and they were able to learn a lot from you who has spent a lot of time and has a lot of experience in this industry. So again, from bottom of our hearts and the students, thank you, sir, for taking the time to spend it with us.
No, thanks to you all for listening to me, right? And I hope whatever I said made sense. Don't go overboard, right? Work on your grades. Don't take me too seriously. Yeah. And if you need any help, I shared my credentials. Please feel free to reach out. I will be happy to help. And Milan, if you get a feedback, right? If there is a follow-up session needed, I'm happy to do that. Yeah.
Of course, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Students, you can leave the meeting now. Any other project-based questions, or I think most of them have been answered during the session and yesterday's session, and also we'll be sharing more information in your groups regarding the final project. The submission dates have not been changed. So I hope you all take your learning plan completion seriously and get it done on. Thank you all.